So back with a little mini update from me, how things are going, how's the off season progressing. I know you're all on tenterhooks wondering how things are going. So I broke 330 pounds this week. Every single day this week has been 330, between 330 and 331. So I think since the last update I did, that is just over a couple of pounds up maybe. So things are moving well. Again, training's been fantastic. I'm feeling great now. This is a Saturday and I've just had my first ever devolume week, which I'm going to talk about in depth after this little update as today's topic. So I'm feeling a lot fresher and yeah, everything has been kind of going quite well. I don't know if calories have changed since last time, but as a reference point, training day calories are now 5.8 and rest day calories are 4.5. Training stayed the same. You know, when it comes to training and off season, nothing's going to be different. You know, my training is 4 times a week, 2 push sessions, 1 pull session, 1 leg session. Weights have been progressing. Still doing my cardio, 20 minutes, 6 times every morning, or 6 times every morning, 6 mornings a week, and I go for a nice gentle walk every day as well, just to keep the old ticker moving. So, brief update. I am quite happy with the way I'm looking. Again, as I said in the last video, being awfully self-critical, it's hard to say that, but I know as a reference point where I've been before to where I am now, and you know, with the way weights are moving, with my current strength levels, with how I look, with my body weight, I am pretty confident that good progress is being made, which is very exciting because as a bodybuilder, we want to be building, and I feel like I am. So I am now 10 weeks into this push phase, which probably marks maybe the halfway mark, maybe just past the halfway mark. I'll assess towards the back end in terms of if I start feeling kind of increasingly worse and ropey. But yeah, so 330 weight this time at the moment. Body weight last push at the end of was 332. So we're looking at, you know, quite comfortably surpassing that in similar, if not better conditions. So that is great. Now, I've not got a question this week, just because I wanted to talk about what I mentioned a minute ago, coming off the back of my first ever devolume. I know what you're thinking. Who is this guy? How is he a bodybuilder? He's never done a devolume. But I want to caveat by this by saying, if you're a young guy or just starting out, please do not get hung up on things like devolume weeks. Just learn to train like an absolute animal and almost learn to bury yourself into the ground. I know that's not like the cool thing. I know everyone wants to kind of optimize recovery, but if you're never actually pushing yourself to a serious degree of needing to recover, then you're never really going to make progress. Like, we can be as scientific as we want. When you look at the guys who make the most progress, they are the guys who train the hardest. And if you can train the hardest for a consistent time, for a long period of time, you're going to see the great amount of progress. Now, please bear in mind, I've been doing this now for 13 years. So I am a long way through my journey. I am also 35, and anyone past the age of 30 who has been doing this, you probably know that the wheels start to fall off around then. So I have had to be more careful with my recovery and how I manage that. In the past, when I start to feel a little bit more broken, I have just taken rest days. But this time, the reason I chose a devolume is my training has been progressing obscenely well. Like, every single session, I have been taking some form of progress. Now, not this week just gone, the week before, which prompted me to have this week as a devolume week, I was starting to feel a real build-up of not just mental fatigue, not just physical fatigue, but mental fatigue. I was going into sessions almost with a sense of dread, and not the kind of good dread that I had big numbers to hit, but like, oh God, I'm really kind of mentally tired. Once I get in the gym, I'm fine. And this can sometimes be my problem. Like, as long as I get in the gym, I can then push, and, you know, it's then outside of that I maybe struggle. So that, combined with my sleep take a bit of a hit, my digestion took a bit of a hit, all these little kind of subtle indicators that suggested that if I kept pushing, then the red line that I had definitely hit, I would surpass it and something would go wrong. And like I said, at the halfway mark of this push phase, the last thing I want to do is overreach and it then have a real kind of ongoing impact where I dig a hole so deep I'm not coming out of it. So what have I done for the devolume week? 4 sessions, exactly the same exercises, exactly the same order. All I've done is I've stripped it back to 1 working set per exercise, and I've dropped all intensifiers. So no drop sets, no rest pause sets. So the total time each session that I'm in the gym less is about 30 minutes in total. And you know about that, like when you're training for 2 hours plus and you suddenly take 30 minutes off that, that feels just mentally quite refreshing in itself. The great thing about this is that I have still managed to progress within those 1 sets. So I haven't been taking it easy. As I said, I've built up such great momentum with my training that I didn't want to lose that. You know, had I had a week off, I would have then had to use next week to sort of ease back into things, and it really would have been sort of 2 weeks. So yeah, I think listen to your body. If you're young, just learn how to train hard and actually, you know, earn recovery. And if you are someone in a similar position to me, like I said, the little indicators: mental fatigue, physical fatigue, sleep disruption, digestion. I was feeling a little bit more emotional, a little bit more overwhelmed, a little bit more stressed, all those things. And then, yeah, you've got, I suppose, to my clients, what I will give them is 3 options: days off, devolume, or going to some sort of like easy sessions in terms of pump work. They're all going to have their place, and what's probably going to dictate it is your mindset. As I said, my mindset was really still very progressive, overload focused. So that's why I chose the devolume, my first one ever. Great success, happy with that. So that's my take on that. That's my update for you guys. And as ever, thank you very much for following. Any questions, you know where to hit them up. This is the videos that I will be covering those in, unless I have something else that I want to waffle on about. So thank you, see you soon.